is a worthy cause not to allow it in anybody's backyard. So this is environmental racism. The corruption, the fraud, were all concealed. And none of these corporations ever got any kind of punishment. In the interim, thousands and thousands of our people passed on from cancer on a worldwide basis. 300 million deaths from radiation, and we're still counting. And this is only impacting the brown-skinned people. How dare you? Where is the justice? Hell no. Because we have dealt with severe health, life-threatening injustices that's been inflicted upon our people to violations of human rights and federal trust, the so-called federal trust responsibilities. This is a classic example of the haunting of the lands, the haunting of the people, because we're living the painful nightmares from yesterday, today, and into the future. The scandalous neglect of the federal government remains a part of our memory that spells major, major distrust. You started this, Mr. Federal Government, so why should we trust you today? And the state governments. So, the scandalous neglect of the federal government remains a part of our memory. So let me be clear, my dear relatives. This is not the so-called democracy that this country claims. Back then and today, how could you let this fraud and corruption and scandal remain as it is today? 80 plus years in the making, and you're barely trying to clean up the abandoned uranium mines. How many more people have to die? So this is not the rule of law. This is not the so-called democracy. This is the rule of ignorance, the rule of fear, being misguided as laws. You don't fool us. So there is an ugly history in the treatment of Native Americans, and we all know it. You all know it. This treatment of Native Americans, black people, anybody whose color of skin is not white, it belongs in the hall of shame. That's right. There is blood on the hands of America. And I am sure, according to the Bible, the Word of God, and whoever, you will be judged accordingly. Uranium is not safe, but toxic greed for money will make you think otherwise, will make you say otherwise, which is definitely very misguided. Corporations have all these laws. The entire infrastructure in this country is meant to help corporations and not the people. If it comes to push and shove, corporations will have their way. This is really sad, unfortunate, and unprecedented, where the sacredness of life, of humanity, is no longer honored. Navajo Nation inherent sovereignty and authority is there to protect life and our resources. Navajo Nation has a Diné Resources Protection Act. Let's see how this prevails. Let's put our Navajo Nation inherent sovereignty to the test. And if it fails, you will know exactly what I mean, what I'm pointing out today. Does life really matter? That's the ultimate question. In the hands of the federal government, who caters to only corporations. And I know I'm getting carried away, so I'm going to stop here. I know I only have 5 minutes, so I thank you for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah.
Yeah, Shadekora. Nashinana Doles, Kodor Niki Natani, Honorable Council Delegate Nahaniya, Mr. Casey Johnson. Ado Kodor Nahanjisha, keep your mic close to your okay, thanks. Keep the mic close to your mouth.
Yeah, Bennett, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's try that again. Yeah, Bennett. It's a great day to be here before you. Thank you. Yeah. It's very, it's an emotional, spiritual. It's making us think where we're at today in this life. What are we going to do from here going forward when this company transports commercial uranium illegally through our nation? What are we going to do about it? And we just heard Cora Max Phillips state that sovereignty and everything that entails in sovereignty. Sovereignty's on paper. But the true act of sovereignty is you and I, us together, united. Making sure that we are safe and secure in our homelands. Indigenous peoples of this continent gave up a whole hemisphere for the United States and Mexico. Just like I heard earlier, how much more do we have to give up? I'm not about to waive our rights on sovereignty. I'm not to waive our rights on allowing this illegal transportation of uranium go through our nation. I'm here today to stand with my community, and this is where I'm from. My mother died because of cancer, because of uranium, because of the downwinder. All that. Sat in that cancer center up in Flagstaff. All that stuff going through that poison, going through to fight another poison that was put into her by the government. So it does. It's in here. And I'm a product of that. And I was born from that. I was born into this. All these open uranium mines are still open right here. It's in the water. Now we got a company that's going through here, transporting this commercial uranium. Our relatives, the Wallapais, the Hopis, everybody, Paiutes, everybody, they don't want that being mined over there. We should have 10,000 right here, right now.
That's right.
We're a nation of over 400,000. Where you at? And we had a warrior that had went on to the spirit world, protecting our sacred peaks. Where was everybody at? There should have been 10,000 warriors there. So I'm calling out to our warriors. I stood with you at Standing Rock. And there was a lot more Navajos over there, a lot more tribes over there. If you really want to exert your sovereignty, close that highway down until they come over here to the table. Now, what are we going to do? Lawsuits? I think we should close 64 and 89. Let the whole United States know we ain't messing around. Yes, the ADOT has right away. That's it. It's just an agreement. You have the trust land. Navajo Nation trust land is right there. You have a grazing permit. That supersedes ADOT's agreement. You remember that. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. Let's unite. Let's start right here, right now. Move forward. Don't take nothing less. They need to adhere to our laws. If our laws ain't good enough, I'm a legislator. I will reinforce, redo that legislation to make sure it states that. Because you have a lawyer over here interpreting the law differently, then you have another lawyer over here interpreting differently. They have another one over here with a different type of interpretation. But we got to state it clearly in there that there is no hauling of uranium across indigenous lands. There's Navajo Nation, there's Southern San Juan Paiute, and there's Hopi Nation. We all need to unite together right here, right now. Don't just sit behind your phone and watch this. Get over here right now. I care about our future. I care about the next 100 years. I care about our water. We got to ensure that this place is safe for our future generations. And if we're going to allow a private company to dictate, disregard our laws, that is unacceptable to me. So I want to thank each and every one of you, President Nygren, First Lady, the Human Rights Commission, all our Nitanis here, President Smith, our former dignitaries. Thank you for being here. This is our community, and we need to take care of it. Like I said, like you heard, sovereignty. Maybe we should walk, put a barrier up over there, put a barrier up over there. And I just got a text message saying that Governor Hobbs has paused the transportation. Is that true? Paused. So I'm going to tell you right now, the legislation of 2012, there's an interpretation in that language that states that any type of commercial transportation of radioactive waste, not waste, but let's say uranium, need to come before the Navajo Nation, needs to come before OPBP as well as the Navajo Nation Council. They don't have my consent. They don't have our president's consent. They don't have your consent. They never came before us, so that's why it's illegal. All this energy all your energy. Let's make it known. Let's put it out there. Let's let the world know that we're not going to tolerate this. We're not going to stand for this. All the other nations are looking at Navajo Nation. What are you going to do about it? You going to roll over and belly up? Or are you going to fight? I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight in that council chamber. I'm going to make sure those laws interpret what we're saying is illegal to transport uranium across Navajo Nation, as well as other nations. So we need all our relatives across the board to stand with us. Congressmen are listening to us. I've been to Washington, D.C. I'm going to tell you right now, when we try to meet with these Congress, they sent out their staff assistant. We spent all that money traveling out there, and on our agenda we meet the staff assistant. It doesn't say staff assistant. It says Senator Mark Kelly. Where's Mark Kelly at? Where's Senator Kelly? Where's the rest of the Congress people at? Your votes are powerful. Your votes are going to be putting these officials back into office when their term is up. Where's our senators? Where's our representatives of the state? Where's their bill at? We should have a senator and 2 representatives here. Where are they at? But it's okay. We're here today. Myself, as the Navajo Nation Council delegate for District 3 and 5, President Nygren, thank you, for stepping up. You stood with us. You stated that you signed that legislation that we did months ago. That letter we sent to President Biden and his administration. We told him no hauling of uranium through Navajo Nation. It states that in the letter. But are they listening? Well, let's make him listen today. Just want to thank you for your time. I know I went over my 5 minutes. Rena's over here wanting the mic back, but let's do this. And I'm here with you today. Yeah.
We have cold water here in the ice chest. We have granola bars and we have fruits for everyone. So May Peshlagay, she's a state representative.
Akia what I shaho aki di de quiet di glengi akia sharchin kwa enhano yahaki quit egwala ba hojon ajat at the queen end things will get done quit ego eya akia hitini do le sharchin ado nshlinigi eya hatnes danin be between bashish chain a she etashche ado tsadishkizni etashnal quit ego eya a sananshle a manshle a masanshle a nalanshle na kidenatsui quit ego eya shilak e olia ado kwano na sozi all my children because I am an elected official and I am concerned about the situation that we are in today. Put ego eya kodo shi eya niche hadis akoko di eya belegana kwa akeda na nagego adoled recorded they so I wrote a statement. Yesterday, I was interviewed from down south, KAZZ, Aja Kut Ego Eya statement, ba Ashlago Eya Ad, and also the cotton disney. Eshi Eni Jitin Stadolish action quiet for so dinky. I see Yego. Nijena Hote, Hard Iwego, Kut Ego. Achena na bitan hitzner, Kodo, yeah. A quote end the compe hata Hachin halle, Hanala halle, Hatsoke halle, Hono tingle, Bands the case, Kot ego eya, she, Kot ego eya ba konizi, Rola do dada, Shas tui, Zani, Artsko, Hajo, Yesis Adole, Nissen, one test case, the Hasistic in the Akot end. I just like to say that these people that are standing before you, your leaders, they're not shouting at you, they're teaching you. And I'm just telling you that when you're a young person, you don't want to listen to that old man, that old lady. But further down the line, you gonna step into it. That's where I'm at now. I'm an elderly woman. So kot ego eya kwaetana enal so sabakan ja eni in stadole kode because I'm being recorded. This is the comment that I wrote. As Indigenous people, we have been taught to protect Mother Earth. Protect what she has given us and use it respectively and compassionately. Indigenous Arizonans are proud and happy that the Biden administration designated part of the Grand Canyon region as an ancestral footprint of the Grand Canyon National Monument. We are allies with the federal government in this designation and evolving relationships. It's important to know that Indigenous Americans have been considered citizens in the United States for 100 years. To me, that means we have been considered human beings since 1924. Indigenous World War I veterans of the Havasupai Apache Nation had to sue Arizona for the right to vote in 1948. That is only 76 years ago. Further protection of our sacred homeland and surviving tribes must include banning uranium mine and transport in and near the Grand Canyon, including transit through the Navajo reservation. It is particularly offensive that Arizona House Speaker Tonema and Senate President Peterson have stated that national monument is a land grab. The land that surrounds the Grand Canyon were taken from the indigenous people of this region. Land was taken, lives were taken in an attempt to eliminate our people, our culture. The designation of the new monument and the restrictions on uranium mining are long overdue and appreciated, but I am concerned for the futures of our children and grandchildren. The Republican Party in Arizona follows lockstep with former President Trump, who has stated, "Drill, baby, drill." I realize that was meant for fossil fuel, but nothing is sacred to him. It will expand to anything worth a penny, including uranium. Our native community has been generous and conquered for too long. We must fight back with our votes and protect our future. President Trump insulted our great code talkers, Navajo code talkers, in front of a portrait of Indian killer Andrew Jackson in 2017. That action clearly shows his standing on Indian policy and wholly unacceptable to Native people and anyone with a moral compass. Kot ego eya adana behasti akoko. I support no halt across any indigenous communities throughout our country. This is our country, and we must stand up and protect her. We are contaminating our water, our air, and this radiation will not stop. It will continue for millions of years, and we are now in it. So we must fight together as indigenous people to stop it. And I am your state representative, and please, my door is always open. Come and visit. Don't be afraid, because I really like to see our indigenous people. I work with all indigenous people, not just the Navajos, the Hopis, or the Paiutes. I'm concerned. If we all band together as one, we have a stronger voice. Your voice matters. So vote. Vote. That's the Western way. In 1492, they grabbed, the land grab is still continues. So we need to stop it. And thank you very much.
Shema Kodoshi Nasnana Dole, Kodoshi Trabahol, Navajo Nation First Lady. Oh, yeah, it's A. Good morning. She Jasmine, Blackwater-Nygren, Yunisha. Aro she Hushklishni Nishlan, Ashihan Bashushin. No da Adana Etka Chitni Dashiche, Aro but Anti Dashinale. Aro Bethina Ash Inigi Dr. Nygren Willia. Akut ego Diné Sanedo Amanishla. And I just wanted to start by thanking each and every one of you for being here today. Thank you for the organizations, the press, and all of the other people who decided to show up and show your support for this cause today. And so what I wanted to start off with was talking about why we're here today. We heard a lot of powerful words, a lot of powerful messages here this morning, and I want to echo that. We heard from our council delegate, we're going to hear from our president, and I think the resounding message that we all hear today is that we're standing united, all of us across the nation, that we don't want this uranium being hauled through our communities. And so when we think about that, we think about all the things that we don't agree with as Navajo people. We like to disagree about every little thing. But today we're here, we're united. And I think that's such a powerful message. And so let's continue to lift up that message as we're here today. I know we're going to go on a walk very soon. I want to keep my message very brief because I know it's getting hot. I know that all of you have a lot of energy. I know that all of you are holding your signs and you're all very proud to be here today. So thank you. But I also wanted to share just a brief message. I really appreciate what Delegate Johnson said. So I too have grandparents who passed from cancer, from uranium exposure. They're downwinders. And I'm from northern Navajo. So all the way from the north to the east to the west, we are all deeply affected by uranium. I don't think there's a Navajo person who's unaffected by uranium exposure. And so when Mr. Delegate Johnson said, we all need to stand together, that's true. We're all affected in one way or another. And we know that this transportation that's happening is illegal. We are a nation of laws. We have tribal sovereignty. When we go out at the state, at the national, at the federal level, all of these elected people, they want to say we respect tribal sovereignty. That's a talking point for them. That continues to be a talking point. And so today we're standing up and saying, well, respect our tribal sovereignty, respect our laws. And right now we're saying no. And so I just wanted to share that message with you. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for the Indian Collective who was also here today. And thank you to everybody who is going to join us on our walk. Please stay hydrated. Take care of one another. I saw a baby here. I know we have elders here. Please make sure you're looking out for one another. I'll quit it.
Navajo Nation President Dr. Nygren.
Yeah, good morning. I just want to say thank you so much for all of you for coming out. I know that on Tuesday I got wind of this, and as your leader of the Navajo Nation, one of the things I didn't appreciate is not getting any notice. And I remember a couple of years ago, I always say I represent the people that's voices are rarely heard in the Navajo Nation government. And those are the people that have been affected by cancer, disease, respiratory issues, and lost loved ones. Those are the ones that are affected every day. They're struggling on a day-to-day basis. And to me, when I got wind of there's uranium being transported across the nation, and I got no notification as president of the largest tribe in America, 27,000 square miles, over 400,000 people, and you're going to disrespect our lands, our laws, and the things that we all represent as a nation. And in my opinion, I sat down at the AG, I was in my office, we were talking about other issues, but then right then and there I said, you know what, this is just wrong. They think they can just mess with us. I said, as president of the Navajo Nation, of course, public safety is within my authority, so send the police and let's get these illegal smugglers off our land. And that was very clear when I chatted with my staff. I said, you know what? We got no notice. There's no permits. What if an accident actually happened on Tuesday? There was no emergency response team ready to go for any emergencies that were going to happen. So as your president, I wasn't going to risk that. So I said, let's go. Send the police. Do what you can. And I want to thank Public Safety Director Mike Anderson. That was the first person that I called. And I said, hey, get a hold of your chief of police. Let's get out there and let's make sure that we tell them that we're serious. We're a nation of laws. As your president, we enforce the laws and we try to execute everything that comes my way. And so I want you to know, on behalf of my office and on behalf of the First Lady, because I know I've seen those stories. I've heard about it my entire life. There's so many abandoned mines in the Four Corners area. I come from Red Mesa and in Sweetwater and Cove, just that area around Carrizo Mountain. Hundreds and hundreds of mines, not only there, but across on the western side to the eastern side, and even in Church Rock, the largest spill, 1979, and it's still not cleaned up. And we've got over 500 mines that are not cleaned up. Over the past year, I've been in Congress asking, saying, let's get those amendments dropped. Asking Speaker Johnson, drop the legislation, put it on the floor, let the people vote on it, because downwinders and people that have been affected really need the funding and the support and the health care that they need. And then when it didn't happen, that was very disappointing. And then at top of that, because you got people every day calling us about those amendments. And then the other thing I always hear about is uranium cleanup is going to cost too much money. Well, it didn't cost too much money. You've extracted over 30 million tons of uranium from the Navajo Nation. That's more than 50% of all uranium ever extracted in America. That's unacceptable. If you put it in today's value, 30 million tons by $85 this morning, that worth is $5.1 trillion. That's what came out of the Navajo Nation if you put it in the cost of today. So to me, it's unacceptable. Do your part, clean up our minds, and let's not even have that discussion of transportation, because our people are still dying today. They're suffering. A lot of them are really hurting. Just imagine if you're a young person, you don't have a grandma, you don't have a nolly, you don't have an elder, you don't have a parent. What do you tell them? That uranium took them, and I'm sorry, I can't do nothing about it. There's so much generational trauma that uranium has brought to our people. And so because some of the critics that people have been telling, well, the Navajo Nation, that's just like any other indigenous tribe that doesn't care for economic development and all those types of things. You know what? That's not the case. We've supplied more than half the uranium. We've supplied our code talkers who've defended this country. We have done our part for national security as a Navajo people and as a Navajo Nation. So do not bring that subject up, because we've done our part. Do your part by cleaning up the mines, respecting our laws, and really helping our people. There's probably so much need out there. We need mental health. We need counseling. We need education. We need dollars that our people need all across Navajo. And as First Lady and Honorable Johnson and the rest of the leaders that spoke this morning, let's unite, let's support one another, and this is something that we take very serious because it's touched our heart, it's affected our nation and our people. So as your president, there's no ands or ifs or buts on how I stand on the things that have uranium has caused for our people. So ai yisba ion ketho khaishe benet on khanda ha just wana de jo keto eto da nit in the eshibe hajo eskesta hasne dos khan de cho dan ke do tson ke khan do cho don ke keya hajon de do tlito strido sani don ke Dinétah nigi bichin da hoit nanigi eshibe kha do wo ban se de keso so the zinshidon ke o is be nasko you katole ebe hehen ke dini do le to ta da hasngaro le. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Kadoshi, Mike Anderson,
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, First Lady, delegates that are here, people, the community that are here to participate in the walk. I'm just here to, number one, I want to emphasize safety, safety, safety. The prayer that was given earlier by Mr. Max, please, as we move down the walkway today on the sidewalk to the chapter house, I'm asking you a couple things. Be aware of your direction you're walking, how you're walking, watch out for traffic. We've asked public safety, our officers from law enforcement and Navajo Police and members from the EMS to be here to help ensure your safety. I still need your participation in accomplishing that. So as you move forward today, please be recognize the dangers that are out there. Don't think that, just because you're in a group that, safety measures are reduced. I need you to walk on the west side of the highway. There's a sidewalk. There's like a dirt area. Don't go to the area. Stay on the sidewalk west as you're going that way. Those who are carrying banners, be aware that it can obstruct your view. Make sure that the people that are around you. So again, we want everybody to be safe. We want you to get your message out, but we want you at the end of the event to be able to go home, just as our leader, Mr. Max, offered earlier. The ambulance service will be here until we start moving. Then they're going to go and situate themselves over the chapter house in case we need them to come back this way. So once again, make sure you have a hat, you have sunblock, hydrate, and wear the right proper shoes as you're walking. If you can switch out, that'd be great, but be aware of that. And Sago for cooperating with us. Okay, they're asking for some volunteers right over here for the sign. So step over here if you would assist them. Again, safety, safety, safety. Okay, Shananta. All right, once again, we just want to emphasize that we do have officers out here. We've been, even with them out there, as you can look, with their lights flashing and everything, we still have people that are speeding. So be aware of it. Watch and follow your escort, your leader here. We'll be following him. We'll be in front of him. So be aware of that as we move forward. Please, safety, safety, safety.
Again, obviously we're only walking a half a mile to the chapter house. And as I mentioned to Mike Anderson, that everybody deals with road construction and delays. So I think that the people that will be in traffic for the next 10 to 15 to 20 minutes shouldn't mind that it's slowed down, because this is very important. Thousands and thousands of our people have been affected. So again, before we get onto the road, let's make sure that police officers have your lights on, because I want to make sure that it's very visible that we've got police here with us. So again, do not make it out onto the highway until the Navajo police have made it onto the highway with their roads. So I know everybody's got their banners and everything, so be careful, be safe. Let's get on the road and let's make our way to the chapter house and make a statement. So thank you. And water, if there's somebody that's very able and strong, can you maybe just put maybe somebody can haul the ice chest. I think it's got wheels. Yeah, it's got wheels. So any male that feels like they're very strong, they can definitely I'll go in the back of one of these units. So if you get thirsty, you got the unit. And then anybody you're gonna take it? You okay? Cool. All right. Yeah, this way it goes, I think. All right. Here's whoever feels like they want to be very vocal. Anybody wants this other microphone? Yeah, you can take this microphone. It's got about 250 feet, so.
Yeah, everyone. I'm Dinétah from Indian Collective. We really would like to have local leaders carry this big banner that we made for you all. This can help lead the march and control the flow. Our leadership, those that have helped organize this, and those that are from the local community, it would be great if we could have 5 people carry this.
Okay, we got First Lady on the other end. We need some other. Mr. Johnson, come on over, grab the other side. Don't stand close to me because you're a tall guy, okay?
This is the accountability one.
All right, we need Mr. Johnson. I think May Shamasana, if you want to walk, come get on the other side, Mr. Johnson. Come on that side. And then our leaders. Remember, we're waiting for police to make their way across. because we're not going to make our way across until we've got lights. I want to make sure. I think EPS, executive protection, please turn on your lights, make your way. All right, right there. You want to just walk by me, First Lady, or you want to be on that side? Okay. Casey, you can stand by, First Lady. Right in the middle. On that side, yeah. Right there. Yep, right there. Oh, yeah, put him on the end. Yeah, be good. That way he can block traffic for us. All right, police, your lights. We're getting out to the road, so please get in front of us. Stop traffic, and then we'll make our way to the highway. Hello? All right, let's, Morwen, we're going to walk across, and then let's make sure the lights are available. And we're stopping. I see vehicles still coming south.
Yeah. Two more volunteers for a smaller banner.
So, this gray vehicle, let's, Mike, we need somebody to go across and stop. Go right there. We're going across. Let's make sure we block that one. I just want to thank you. Yeah, we're walking the forward path. Okay. All right. Hold on. Be careful. Let's make sure public safety does stop. Let's let these 3 vehicles go through. It might be Grandma, Grandpa coming back from Flag, so let's be very careful. We know that there's a lot of Navajo people that travel on these roads, so be as careful as possible. Okay, watch out for these guys right here. Okay, all right, everybody behind this nice, beautiful banner. Yeah. Okay, we'll center the banner. Okay. All right, whoever wants to be vocal, let me give you this microphone. All you will just walk the rest of the time. Any volunteers?
Sing us a song.
Sing us a song.
Nila. At the neck as you would pass it out knee. Ishi. Hey, that's how to cut in there. That will kill the clutter. Guns in the house. Better have to cut in there.
Also, the mic's in the shot. Oh, the mic's in the shot.
Yeah. They had it on safe.
You can push it in a little bit.
Ishi. Since that way, how do you cut it all? You can have a teeth. Hopi Nations, please push up. Please push up. The water's flowing. You can hear the sound of the water. Okay, there's a song. So I'm going to honor our president's wishes to sing a song. The song, clearly, if you understand the language, talks about the water flowing. Please, Koshitsa. Hey, and they I can't lay, yeah, go, only yeah, I'm not so wicked, only yeah, they cannot make it, only yeah, I don't know, I'm okay, only yeah, they are
I got it right there.
This song talks about, us traveling with like the holy people with pollen. In our culture, the pollen, it means tadadin. What that means is the light on top of your head. Because when you put pollen in your mouth, that's for you. When you put pollen on your head, the top of your head, it creates a light, a halo on top of your head. When that happens, it makes your tongue sacred. And we call that so again. So isn't. So over time, we turn that word so isn't to mean prayer. We accomplish that by putting pollen on top of our head, creating NDN, and then it makes us so isn't. So that's a very sacred thing. Once you put pollen in your mouth, from that day on, you don't say bad things. You don't cuss. You don't say negative things to each other. You only speak words that create happiness, words that create beauty. So this is really powerful as a Navajo people. It's our shield, and it makes us strong. So we shall prevail, with this kind of thought. So when we get up in the morning, during the daytime, if you have pollen, go ahead and utilize that and think about it in that way. That's the way I was taught. The Navajo people, we didn't have a written language. So our ancestors recorded, sacred information into songs, prayers, and ceremonies. So our prayers and our songs are like books. They contain important information that our ancestors preserved for us to use as a guide for future generations to go by. Our songs, like our ancient texts, our books. When we sing a song, you can see a picture in your mind because our language is descriptive. So when we sing the song that our ancestors sang thousands of years ago, the same picture, the same thought that they had in their mind, we think the same way. The same thought that they had, we have the same thought. So it makes us kind of like we know what our ancestors thought. We know what they said. We know what was important to them. We know how they. We don't have to go down and dig around in towns, caves, and rooms looking for artifacts to try to find out how our ancestors lived, what they thought and what they ate. We don't have to do that. If you want to know how they lived, how they thought, what was important to them, you learn their songs. Then you'll know. You learn their prayers, and then you'll know. So I want to express that to you guys. So over time, we think that man-made books are more important than our own, books. We just kind of toss them aside. We should not do that. So how about in such case? Some of these are traveling songs. We travel with the laws of nature, Mother Earth, the universe, the mountains, the water, the nighttime, the dawn, the talking gods. These are the ones that came from above. We call them star people, the corn people, pollen boy, harvest girl. So those are our foundation. We live and walk in accordance with them, and we depend upon them. So we remember them to this day. They're going to help us. Quest. We're going to sing a song that says that we walk according to their laws.
Well, thank you guys. We got a quarter mile. We're uphill. Remember, stay hydrated. If you're a little thirsty, people have some waters. But again, these sacred songs, as I was talking to my chief, Mr. Max, it's really going to help us get this across the board. And the people will hear us all, not just here on Navajo, but they'll hear us all over the country with these songs and our way of life. And that these songs have been with us for thousands of years, as mentioned earlier. So it's really good journey songs, prayer songs, and to really make sure that not only are we walking on this path to make sure uranium is cleaned up on our nation, but we're walking in prayer and in song of who we are as Navajo people. So again, I just want to say thank you so much to my Che. I know that we're almost there. He's probably saving his best prayer songs here to get us through. So again, I just want to say thank you. I'm glad that we're doing this.
We all talk about ending uranium, and we want that because we want to be in the state of Hujo. You all heard the word of what Hujo is. You heard it. Hujo before me, behind me, above me, Hujo around me. Only Hujo coming out of my mouth. You heard that. You know, we all know that as Navajo people. What you may not know is that that's our strength, because our ancestors prayed for that every day to be in the state of Hujo. So much that the word Hujo is in every song that we have. We sang a song. One song we must have repeated the word 3 times. So they're all in our songs. We begin the word with the word Hujo. At the beginning of our prayer, we pray about Hujo. And then in the end, we say Hujo 3 or 4 times. So our Hujo is our #1 philosophy as a Navajo people. We cherish that. We fight for that. Because that's part of our land. It's on our land. Hujo is in the air, in the plants, in the mountains, in the water. It's all around us. So, it's not looking at it. So, what is it? What does Hujo mean? Well, to some of you younger ones, you think the word Hujo might mean beauty. But the real word for Hujo is happiness. If I say Shihojo, means I'm happy. Nikestahojo means we're happy. So beauty means a nijone. Nijone and the word Hojo are two different things. So our ancestors wanted everybody to be happy. They wanted the land to be happy. We put bad things in our land and use that to harm people. Mother Earth is not happy. We want the plants to be happy, the air, the wind to be happy, the mountains, the animals to be happy. We want everybody to be happy. Matter of fact, in order for me to be happy, I have to make you happy. So that's how it works. You have to have love, unconditional love, to be able to give and receive it, to be happy. You gotta have good health. If somebody's sick, down with cancer or other ailments, it minimizes your hujo, your happiness. And we don't want that. We want everybody to be happy. We want everybody to be healthy. And in order to maximize your hujo, you have to be at peace, be in balance and harmony with yourself and everybody around you. And you don't want to create imbalance because that causes harm. And we don't want that. In order to maximize your wisdom, you have to show compassion as a human. Compassion for yourself and others. Everything around you is alive. Everything has a spirit. You got to show respect and compassion to everybody and everybody all over the world. So that's how it is. So just wanted to say that, and then to seek beauty. In order to maximize your hujo, you have to seek beauty. So beauty in yourself and beauty in other people. We're all equal, you know, and sometimes we're looked upon, down upon, thinking that we're not equal. But according to our ancestors, we're all equal. So I'm going to go ahead and just say that much to encourage everybody and thank you for walking with us.
Hello, my name is Marilyn Reed. I come from Cameron here. If everybody could look to the west about a half a mile to the Red Hills. There's a uranium mine there. Everybody that's within a mile of that uranium mine cannot improve their homes. It's designated as a purple area by the Land Department, Navajo Nation. So all the homes that within this area, including the chapter house, they're affected by that uranium mine. There's a lot of uranium mines. If you look to the east along the Little Colorado River, there's literally, I don't even know how many. So we are affected by uranium here in Cameron. Our homes, our livelihoods, our businesses are all affected by uranium. So I really appreciate everybody that's come out to support Cameron. Thank you so much. Marilyn Reed here. The now the Nanshan Kia Ani Bashichi Sena Dashiche Do Bin Twani Dashinella what our son and Schla. I hear hand to the Schneidle. Thank you.
Maryland. This is May Franklin. The circle that I'm talking about is some they put a circle around all these mines that are in this area where people live, and Maui. And we talked about that, why that was so.
Watch your feet.
We
Watch
were
your feet.
told, we were told that Navajo Nation was using an outdated map because these mines that have been assessed have new information that is being used. And we know the mines and what's been done there. So we're hoping that Navajo Nation
Stand by the road there while all the assessments goes by.
determine services to our community members. Just wanted to clarify that. Can.
Navajo Nation, there's over 550 abandoned mines. Right here at Cameron, there's about 126. There have been some studies that were done like straight ahead of us. The way that there's a mine. I don't know if it's Navajo one. These homes are like within 20, 40 yards of it. And they're hot spots. Like for example, the double one, which one is a hot spot. Because these sheep, they go out and graze. And they graze on these hot spots. Other from that, you can trace that hot spot from the hot spots to the around. Got these other the fish that you get to feed these holes in the roof. They don't we're making a strong statement. We're making Navajo really strong. So nothing here to it's me. I don't see for joining everybody here in the walk. Thank you everybody, the media, and the elders and kids. Thank you very much.
We can come inside. We'll do a closing prayer if you need to use the restroom, cool off, and then we'll go ahead and end. So if you guys want to come inside and cool off.
backed up, because that's normally what you do when you're in traffic. You're like, if there's something going on, let me look at Google Maps. So I think that it brought awareness not only to the Navajo people, but people traveling through Navajo, that they're going to read about it and say, you know, this is a really strong issue that has affected thousands and thousands of our people in Navajo. And then hopefully, my hope is that through this walk today, that they will stand with Navajo and really help us fight and advocate countrywide.
The news, I guess, that we saw last night was that communicating with Governor Hobbs and all the give me the details about how that came.
So last night I had a good discussion with Governor Hobbs. Governor Hobbs was very sympathetic to our efforts. Really, she's been for tribal Navajo Nation. She's been here a few times, giving commencement speeches to local colleges. So I know she knows a lot of the challenges, and she understands that how much uranium has devastated the entire nation. And reading her statement, that one of the things that we talked about is RECA, the amendment's not going through, the post-1971. So she knows the devastation that continues to hurt our people. So she briefly paused. It was good in a way, but at the same time, my executive order is in place for the next 6 months while we have these discussions and really try to come to a resolve, because at the end of the day, uranium hat on the nation. There's a mine that just recently 16,000 cubic yards was removed, and I know that it had to be hauled off the nation. So there's things that we're really trying to do as far as the nation, and as far as cleanup and getting up all the uranium waste that was left behind and off our nation. And so I think through these discussions, definitely with the Department of Justice, Attorney General Branch, and EPA Director Stephen and City, they're going to have those discussions. As far as elevating it to my level, I'm not going to be in any of those discussions just because of complete disrespect this week. And I think that until real discussions are happening and real solutions are coming to play, then I will entertain a discussion with Energy Fuels.
What might those discussions look like? I mean, clearly, you've got a pretty strong position. The company's got a pretty strong position. Is there room for compromise?
I think there's going to be room for compromise, and as I mentioned earlier, they're a for-profit business, and I think if the cost of uranium continues to accelerate, I think that either they're going to get a lot more bold and just disregard us and really move the hundreds of the thousands and thousands of people on the nation. And as you can tell, Navajo people can organize, and this is something that people can unite. And that's what we don't want. We don't want people getting hurt. We don't want to affect commerce. We don't want to make sure that, as Navajo Nation president, I want to make it very clear, I'm pro-economic development. We've got coal mines, we've got power plants, we've got gas, we've got natural gas, we've got oil that flows through the nation, hundreds of millions of dollars that we, as a nation, generate on a year-to-year basis. And so as president of the Navajo Nation, I'm pro-commerce and pro-development. But when it comes to uranium, people need to understand it's a humanitarian issue that we face here on Navajo, because it's killed thousands of our people, and they need to recognize that. And so for them to turn the table around on me, I've seen some discussions, well, Navajo is not pro-development, not pro-anything. And I completely disagree with that, because the Navajo Nation has always been an energy nation. But we've got the wrong end of the stick in terms of uranium. As I mentioned earlier, there were 30 million tons extracted. If you put it in today's value, that's $5.1 trillion. In my opinion, we've contributed that much over years and years and years and decades. So we just want people to respect us, honor our laws, and at the same time, I hope that those discussions between the Department of Justice, the Energy Fuels Company, and they come to a really good resolve. So I think that's a statement I want to make. But I think you should chat with the organizer. I'm just First Lady. Yeah. I'm just a guest today, so yeah, I'm just a guest. Yeah.
Again, great to see you.
Hey. Yeah, thank you for being here. This is exciting.
Oh, I think you reached out to Malcolm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was in state representative.
First question is there any plans to talk with the Hopi, the Southern Paiute,
I think
I met with Chairman Hart yesterday. Chairman Hart yesterday, because he's on the Utah side. He's affected. The Utah side don't want it as well.
First Lady
just don't have the resources that the Navajo Nation has. So in my opinion, I want to chat with Navajo Nation affected behind it, really come together. And I mentioned to everybody, this is one of the issues where, you don't want to have this discussion with Navajo.
I think it's important to show solidarity in our opposition against
Energy Fuels,
the uranium
I mentioned earlier,
across the Navajo Nation.
the price of uranium continues to increase. If it's that profitable, all it around Navajo. All it around Navajo, all the way from our tribe.
We heard about this all today.
And I know that quality,
They have a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, and then obviously President orders to the
very close to where they're from.
And then shortly after that, we also saw that they issued an executive order basically reinforcing the same thing. And then it's just growing all week.
You're talking to the Navajo Nation president, I'm not walking on the
Did it
sidewalk.
today or did it very soon after what happened on Tuesday? And I think beyond that, there's a lot of frustration here on Navajo. And I keep searching for words about why we're so opposed to uranium. I think we heard a little bit today, but I think there's this deep sense of distrust and there's like no words for it. It's not morally wrong, it's not ethically wrong. For us as Navajo people, we have other extractions happening across Navajo, right? We have the coal mine, oil, gas here, but when it comes to uranium specifically, I think there's almost a moral obligation to make that decision.
Clearly there is a legacy on Navajo for uranium.
You mentioned First Lady being from that area, that were seen and lost. And I can't imagine the stories on this side of Western Navajo.
If you can elaborate just a little about why this lady, especially miles away, like the relative zone.
Again, I think it's wonderful. I just want to say thank you to Indian Collective. Thank you to Jasmine and her group and everybody coming together, because this is something that we can unite. And one of the things I think about too is, I think as a leader of the largest nation, I know that there's precedents, I know that there's laws that have happened. I got to be very strategic of how I move forward, because I don't want to undo laws that support tribal sovereignty across the nation. So those are some of the things that I've talked with my team about, is we've got to be very careful, because if we undo laws and certain precedents that have happened and hinder tribes across the country, and to make it even worse, I don't want to do that too. So in return, I'm really making sure that our Navajo attorneys are really putting their best foot forward to make sure that we just take that strong stance of just honor our laws when you enter those band roads. And that's what I said earlier, is that when you cross that border, Navajo, I don't care what the state route is. We gave up the right-of-ways to work and partner with our federal partners and the state partners. At the end of the day, under that road is Navajo land, and they got to respect that. And we're not banning everything. This is just something that we're banning. This is terrible. It affects the Wallapai, it affects the Navajo, it affects our Hopi, Southern Pai, all the way back, all the way up to the Ute. So again, that's my train of thought.
The other question is, I'm pretty sure you're aware of it, but I think what you just did in using police and stopping the transportation of illegal, uranium mines on the Navajo Nation is pretty historic for a tribal leader anywhere. I guess what moved you to make a decision like this? Because I don't know, you hardly ever hear of presidents just enacting our sovereignty and actually forcing people off our lands.
And I think that stems from my upbringing. Growing up poor with very little resources. Obviously, my mom, my grandma said, get an education, fight for your people, help your community. And I take that to heart. And to have a construction management degree, to have an MBA, have a doctorate, and I want to use that. And at the same time, be very strategic. And I was very strategic on that move too. And knowing that we're going up against a for-profit company, and we're a government organization, and we've got resources. If they want to have that fight, let's have that fight. And I think that just not being a politician, that's one of the things. I know I'm 18 months into being president, but I'm slowly
learning the ropes of being a politician. But at the end of the day, as I mentioned 2 years ago, I'm for the people. It's just the normal people that never vote in elections voted me in. So I'm not going to please the normal politicians that love to criticize me. I'm always going to stand for the people that can't say anything.
Oh, I'm going to see.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. How's graduation? You made it? You had to fight for your stone?
Because they made the American Indians.
You got it well done?
Yeah. So I think what we want to show here today is obviously solidarity. We want to show that there is opposition and that there's united opposition across Navajo in opposition to uranium. Like I mentioned earlier, get into tribal politics, there's a lot of things that people don't agree with, but when it comes to uranium, there's like a resounding no across the board. Anyone who talks to Navajo is completely opposed. And so that's what we hope today shows, because that everybody here today knows and understands the impact that we as a people feel when it comes to uranium. And so when we think about, what's the long-term ask, whether that's the company, the governor, the proposal that I've heard is that we don't want uranium transportation here in Navajo at all.
I think she had prior discussions.
I do want to add one thing though, is that we do transport uranium to export uranium operations that's done in agreement with the Navajo. And there are laws and regulations that are in place. There is an agreement in place with the nation to do that export. And so when it comes to this instance, it was illegal, it was done with huge disrespect to our tribal people and our tribal sovereignty.
Thank you so much.
Can I get a few minutes? Sure. Just kind of talking about the who are you? I'm independent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My name is Lisa. Oh, gotcha. Just talking about like today, what brought you out here today, what the event is, and what the purpose is in the end goal.
Sure. So you want me to look at you or at the camera?
The camera. Just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Jasmine, Blackwater-Nygren, No, the other net catching dash out of the anti-national, out of the NDN, Dr. Nygren, So, good afternoon. My name is Jasmine Blackwater-Nygren. I'm the First Lady of the Navajo Nation, married to President Nygren, and in that way, I am a mother and Navajo. And so, I think we're here to talk about why we're here today, what is bringing us together, and again, why we're here, right? We're here to say no to the illegal transportation of uranium across the Navajo Nation. And so today we're here in solidarity with our many relatives, our Navajo people, showing that the Navajo Nation will not accept the illegal transportation of uranium across the nation.
And for movements like this, why is it important for community to come together?
Right, and so I think that's something that's really important that I was just talking about, is that on Navajo, you ask almost any Navajo person and they are in complete opposition of uranium mining, uranium extraction, transportation across our nation.
Mentally impacted by uranium, and have you seen those adverse effects from uranium contamination?
Sure. So I mentioned this earlier when I spoke to the crowd, but I recently lost my dad's mother to uranium exposure. She developed pancreatic cancer, and unfortunately, her health really took a hit after her diagnosis. And so when I think about uranium and what it's done to our people, it's hit my family, it's hit my relatives, and not only her, but a couple years ago we also lost her husband, who was a uranium miner. And I think that Navajo people across the reservation have stories like this, and I think it's important that we continue to uplift those voices and continue to let people know that we hear them, that we felt these same things in our own homes, in our own families.
Thank you. Anything else you want to add, or is that about it?
I'd also like to add that we are a tribal nation, yes, but we are a nation of laws. We obviously have tribal sovereignty. I think that's something that a lot of people, a lot of politicians would say, that we respect tribal sovereignty. And you hear that whenever we go to the state, we go to the national level, the federal government, they say we respect tribal sovereignty. And that's always a talking point. And so we want them to know that we as Navajo people, we have laws and that our sovereignty is currently being disrespected.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, yeah. So I'm with Red Media, and I'm also with Indian Collective.
Mind if I grab a water?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Okay.
So I asked President Boo this, and I'll ask you too. But first question is, well, this will be the first question.
Sorry, do you want me to look somewhere? Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly for the boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh gosh. So I guess what would you say, like, you organize? You were the one that called this and organized this, and also what led you to put this on?
Right. And so I wouldn't say that I was the sole organizer. I think there was a lot of Navajo people who have been outraged, who have expressed frustrations with us, and I think I saw this as an opportunity for all of us to share that same message in solidarity with one another. So I wouldn't say that I decided to do this on this day. I would say it came from the people, that there was an expression of anger, and we wanted to help them express that in a way that was safe, in a way that was organized, and in a way that we knew that our government was behind that message as well.
And then, do you have any plans to work with our neighboring tribal nations on this uranium issue?
I think it's important, yes. I was a state representative a couple of years ago in 2021 and 2022, so I represented which was then LD7, now LD6. So you saw my successor, May Peshlakai, today. And so that district is huge. It spans 8 different tribal nations across northern Arizona, northeastern Arizona. And so for me, I think it's very important that we work with our neighbors, because we're all saying the same thing and we have a shared message.
And last question, what is after this?
After this, I think there's continued advocacy. I think it was really important that we had this at a local level, and then I think it was also really important that people who are here today, sorry, it's hard to, I'm trying to listen and talk at the same time, it's hard. I think it's important for people who are here at the grassroots level, for them to know that we have this support here at this level, and that when we go out and we advocate for RICA amendments, or we advocate against, or we continue to advocate against the illegal hauling of uranium, that we have the people's support. And then also, what's next, right? I think there's always advocacy that needs to be done, and then also the continued message that we don't support uranium transportation across Navajo.
Do you have any comments on the nuclear process, like nuclear colonialism and its process, and the disruption that this has caused for it, and what that means for Indigenous people and Indigenous sovereignty?
Right, so I think this is something that President Nygren touched on a little while ago when he was speaking to the group, is that, we as Navajo people, we've done our part to protect national security. We know that our Native peoples, we serve at a much higher rate in the military. We have our code talkers. We've supplied so much uranium from the 1940s to the 1970s. And so when we think about, you know, what does this do for us as a nation, as a country, I think that we've done our part. And if people want to say that this is for the purposes of national security, you know, we've done our part. And there's a lot of strong messages around that today as well.
That's it, yeah.
I don't think I completely understood your question, but...
well, because how I see this, the root issue of this is nuclear colonialism, right? And so what I have to say about this is that what this actually is about is U.S. imperialism, because the United States is... I guess, struggling to maintain global hegemony through its finances, through its production, and through its military. But the only arm that it has of those three things is the U.S. military to maintain escalation dominance throughout the entire world. And if we, the way I see it, the root cause of uranium mining is to continue to create nuclear bombs, which me as a Tewa person is close to home because the first nuclear bomb was made in Los Alamos. And it's, you know, the U.S., we see the state of the world as is right now and what the U.S. is doing to suffocate the people, you know, send arms to Israel, send arms to Ukraine. And I see that as a root cause for uranium. So I'm wondering if you are realizing the gravity and power of sovereignty that you have at hand right here of disrupting the nuclear process and the entire process of U.S. imperialism. Because, you know, here in the U.S., yes, and here in Navajo Nation, you are saving your people and you are making moves to protect your people, but is it realized that this is actually part of the global process of U.S. imperialism that's being disrupted, because people in the third world and in global south countries would be, I mean, just greatly appreciating you disrupting this process. I'm wondering if the gravity of asserting sovereignty like that is being realized.
I think that's a really interesting point. I don't think that's, you know, necessarily, we didn't come with that message, you know, but I think that these are the effects of asserting tribal sovereignty and listening to tribal nations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The way that I've heard it framed is more around, not necessarily like weaponizing nuclear, but like, this is off the record.
Okay.
It's like through, and that's why power to Russia, all these other places, hospitals and
That's good advice. I feel like I have a
Than I am.
Okay, sorry, can I reply to this? No. Hold on.
Well.
Yeah, I remember that, but before that, that if I go and that.
Stuff used to be our sunscreen.
Oh, yeah, that's why I put it on.
Yeah, when we were small, our shoe. Grandma put the red stuff over our face and go in.
I forgot my sunglasses, so I got this.
Yeah, we said, run around like
Oh, you like 18 hours.
Thank you.